Worldwide. From the streets to the yard. To the boulevard. Gangster Chronicles. But alright, y'all. All across the USC, Compton, Watts, Bay to LA. Pomona, California. From valley to valley. We represent that killer Cali. So if you keeping it real on your side of your town, you tune in to Gangster Chronicles.
Gangster Chronicles, we gon' tell you how it goes.
If I lie, my nose will grow like Pinocchio. We gon' tell you the truth and nothing but the truth.
Gangster Chronicles, this is not your average show.
You're now tuned into the real MC8, Big James, and Big Steel.
We want to welcome everybody to another episode of the Gangster Chronicles podcast, and I'm with my dogs.
Big J.
Yeah.
Y'all know what time it is, man. You know, Dave had a lot of people used to go to jail, man, for crimes that they didn't necessarily commit. Rapes and stuff like that back in the day until they started getting the DNA testing involved. Now, since they have Dave made huge advances in this stuff, man. You remember before, back in the day, they'd lock a brother up and say he raped some women and did this and that. He didn't have no proof. It was just his word against theirs, right?
Exactly.
So now, with this new DNA testing, they found over 20 police officers that have been involved in everything from murder to rape to robbery. Police officers. I'm talking about people that protect us.
But no, you got to look at it. It's only coming out now, but they've been doing that. Like, it's a whole lot of gang members that's dead that some officers killed. You know, one of the homeboys, like my homeboy, Big Frank. Big Frank was killed by the police. And, you know, they just talking about it now. They just getting this DNA and all this shit, and it's coming out. But look, it's 26 years later. So this shit been happening, man.
Well, you know, this cat apparently, Joseph D'Angelo, they suspect him of being a Golden State killer. He is charged in a dozen murders and more than 40 rapes. And most of those happened during this time in the late 70s as a cop, working for the Auburn Police Department near Sacramento. Now, how crazy is that? This dude was the Golden State killer.
Shit.
Like I said.
It basically, like James said, police. There have been some police who have always led that that backdoor life, that that split personality. You get me? Because they always figured, they are the police. So there's a lot of shit that they know or knowledgeable about that they can do, that they can frame a motherfucker or put it on a motherfucker, or know just the police department not going to give a fuck about investigating the shit anyway. You get me? So there's a lot of that shit been going on for a while, man. It's just that now you got the technology for certain shit that can't be denied. And that's what the fuck it is. DNA and all that shit can't be denied. But, back in the 70s, early 80s, man, they were giving a fuck. They were robbing, stealing, and killing and doing whatever they can do. And then if they could put it on the nigga, that's what they did.
And that's what I was just about to ask you. How many of these murders do you think they actually went out and pinned on somebody else just to throw them off the people's scent?
Well, nobody can pinpoint the number, but it's a lot. When especially in Compton, when you didn't have hoods fighting and battling and going against each other, all of a sudden somebody dead. And then that cop would come to the hood and say, "Oh, y'all gonna let them kill your homeboy?" They pretty much put you up on it. And 9 times out of 10, what I've done, is, well, what you call them just told us Woof Woof did it. And now the war is started all over again. You know what I'm saying? And they've been doing that from the beginning. But the whole thing about it is, Norm, is you got a lot of cops that's just like us. Just want to be that dude that want that money, that was on that paper chase. And they had a disguise to be that motherfucker. They had a badge and a uniform. And they was able to do it faster than a nigga hanging on the corner. You feel me? So it was easier for them to do it. But man, the police is just like us, man. They just got a job. You know what I'm saying? We just regular motherfuckers out there. Their job is to take from us or take us to jail, but they was committing more crimes than we was, man.
Now check this out right here. This female officer, her name was tell Lionel to chill out a little bit, James.
Right. Lionel got his talking on, man. You already know how that go.
Yeah, he trying to get in the conversation.
For real.
Nah.
So check this out now. Stephanie Lazarus, she was 52. The former Los Angeles police detective convicted of murdering her ex-lover's wife in 1986 was sentenced Friday to 27 years to life in prison. Stephanie Lazarus, 52, was found guilty of marks of killing Sherry Robinson, who was bludgeoned and shot to death in the condo she shared with her husband of 3 months, John Rutan. Superior Court Judge Robert Perry gave Lazarus a term of 25 years to life for first-degree murder and an additional 2 years for personal use of a firearm. He said Lazarus would be credited with 1,000 days for good behavior and time already served. Her defense team said they will appeal the conviction. During the trial, prosecutors claimed Lazarus was consumed with jealousy when her former lover, Rutan, decided to marry Robinson. Defense attorney Mark Overland, however, wrote in court documents that Lazarus had not been initiated contact with Rutan after the murder and that there was no evidence present at the trial to show Lazarus knew where Rutan and Robinson lived or that she knew the phone number. The case hinged on a single piece of evidence, DNA from a bite mark prosecutors say belonged to Lazarus, which was found on Robinson's arm. Defense attorneys argued the DNA evidence was corrupted over the years and could not be considered reliable evidence. Now, Lazarus was not a suspect in 1986 because detectives believed 2 robbers who had attacked another woman in the area were to blame for Robinson's death. No suspects were found and the case went cold for years until May 2009 when undercover officers followed Lazarus and obtained a sample of her saliva to compare with DNA left at the original crime scene, Police Chief Charles Beckett said at the time. Prosecutors suggested Lazarus knew to avoid leaving other evidence such as fingerprints. The idea that saliva from a bite mark could be her undoing was inconceivable in 1986 when DNA wasn't used as a forensic tool. Now, think about this. She went and killed a dude's broad because he didn't want to be with her body, with her ass no more. And they almost pinned the murder on 2 other motherfuckers.
Yeah, because she used that. She knew that motherfuckers in the area had already with somebody, so she knew that they was gonna turn around and use that. So that's why she got away with it for so long. You goddamn right. See, she was a cop herself, right. So she knew that there was a report of another motherfucking assault of a woman in the area by 2 other motherfuckers. So if they find another bitch dead, they gonna automatically assume it was the motherfucker prior. That's what get her off. But see, that's police knowledge. You get me? That's her knowledge kicking in.
Right.
And the crazy thing about it is this, though. Just imagine how many motherfuckers is locked up and don't know why, but because these motherfuckers don't pin something on somebody.
Yeah, they go shit. They go.
You ain't gotta imagine that. You see all these men getting out of jail after they getting out of years, knowing that they was innocent the whole time, and they getting out of that shit. But you got cops that put evidence on the mother just to get that column. But you know, it's just up. But I mean, we all got to look at it like this, man. Shit happens everywhere. Just because you're a police don't mean you ain't gonna commit a crime. Just because you're a police don't mean you ain't gonna beat the shit out of 5, 10 motherfuckers. When they at home and they fighting their wives and husbands, they bring that shit to work with them. They in their feelings.
Right.
Just like we do. So no different.
Now check this out. You got another dude, Blair Christopher Hall. He's a former cop convicted in the drowning death of his wife. And he's still saying he's innocent. But again, DNA came up and caught his ass. Now, these guys have been killing people, man, like killing people, drowning wives, killing jilted lovers and all kinds of shit, man. This shit is crazy, man. You know, and his 3 daughters thought he was innocent. We know this.
Well, you know that's going.
When you're
That's
police,
fucked up for the girls.
when you're police, you're pretty knowledgeable about the system of how they go about investigating. So you got firsthand knowledge of what's going to be the process. And if you know they ain't going to be able to trace this or do that, then you got the upper hand all day being a police. That's why a lot of police turn dirty and do crooked, because they already know the system. You know, they the first hand. They could be the perfect crook. And a lot of them have gotten away with a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? From way back. You know, you can look at that shit from way back from motherfuckers was getting payoff. You know what I'm saying? And motherfuckers was dealing drugs or shooting motherfuckers, planting guns on niggas and saying they did it. You know what I'm saying? They are firsthand knowledgeable about what goes on in their system and they process. So I'll be the perfect motherfucking criminal as a cop because I already know what you're going to do first.
Oh, for sure, without a doubt. And you know, you figure this right here. Now, according to the DA's office, the defendant attacked his 47-year-old wife in a jacuzzi. He put her head in the water until she drowned to death. She had $1 million life insurance policy, and the jury was able to see through all that stuff. They saw through the lies, they looked at the evidence, which was tested, and despite his arguments and his daughters and them up there crying and all this stuff, they threw his ass in jail. Now, this is crazy right here. It makes you wonder, man, like what the process is. It makes you wonder what the process is when they hire these officers.
What you mean the process?
Like, how do they get these guys? You know, because they take these people through these extensive psychiatric exams, but you got a whole bunch of murderers in there. They've been finding a whole bunch of officers guilty of different stuff.
Well, I guarantee you, if they gave me an exam, you an exam, you'll pass the motherfucker. And you're a motherfucking killer. That don't mean anybody can pass that shit. Anybody
Man, all you
with
gotta have
common
is some,
sense?
like you have common sense and can motherfucking answer a question decently, motherfucker. Get away with a lot.
Yeah, this
Well,
is
you
crazy,
gotta-
man.
Especially if I'm going for a job interview,
Military.
you know what I'm saying? I know what I'm gonna do and what I'm gonna say to get across to where motherfucker gonna think, oh yeah, they welcome aboard. You know, you don't know, motherfucker, that I got deep motherfucking crazy thoughts unless I'm just one of these motherfuckers who can't handle it. But a lot of motherfuckers be smart. You get me? That's why. Go join the police force because they smart. Detectives, motherfuckers be like you said, motherfuckers be killing motherfuckers for 50 years and be the motherfucking chief. It's just a way of getting away with shit because I know the system of how the police work, how they investigate, how they go about doing shit.
Well, they damn sure found out the old boy was the Golden State Killer.
Yeah, the average motherfucker don't know that.
Yeah. Now, you know, you look at it like, and then you go back to a case like, now let's go back to the opposite spectrum. You got OJ Simpson. Now let's go back to the opposite spectrum, right? You have somebody like OJ Simpson who was proven to be innocent in this court trial. He almost wound up worse off than what he would have been had he been declared guilty. They took everything from that man.
Right. To me, that's double standard. If I got found not guilty on the crime, how am I held accountable for anything else? It wasn't me. But the civil shit proves wrong. So they don't gotta prove all. It was up.
Yeah, that was just the way
I
of.
don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't get that one either. But that it's designed to just fuck a motherfucker over out of his finances and whatever that is. That's what that is, really. We can't lock a motherfucker up. We can't get him convicted. So let's just go after his pocketbook. Really, that's what that is in a civil case. Oh, I want to sue a motherfucker for $100 million. And let's just face it, if motherfucker believe you killed a motherfucker in a criminal case and you got away with it, that's how they gonna fuck you. Okay, let's just take all his money now. Let's sue him for $100 million. And 9 times out of 10, the motherfucker gonna go, yeah, he had something to do with it. How? Like Jeremy said, you found me not guilty. So how do I have anything to do with a motherfucker's death if I'm found not guilty.
Right.
But we don't go. Yeah, you're guilty. Civil charge. Yeah, give them 100 million. You feel me? That's the way they do it. We're gonna break you down some kind of way.
Well, you figure, and it was more, Simpson, they had a civil case and they ordered them to pay the victims' families $33 million for wrongful death. Now, he got proved to be, he was found to be innocent, and they still came back and got him for all this money. I heard that this dude is living really destitute now, man. I heard he don't have no money now.
Oh, that's what happens. First of all, you look at, the situation, black, white, you know how that go. So everybody believed he did it. Well, everybody in that aspect of the racial profile believed that he was guilty, so they got him off, whatever the case may be. The court system said he was not guilty, but yet and still, you can put a civil case against him and take all his money, because now we can just we believe you had something to do with it. Yeah, you were found not guilty, you were acquitted, all that whatever, but we still feel you got something to do with it. And all the motherfucker got to do is say, yeah, we believe you did have something to do with it. Now give them all your money, period.
What the crazy part
about
it.
Then the first thing a motherfucker say is, it's not about the money.
Oh yeah, for sure. The crazy.
There's sue a motherfucker for $1 then, if it's not about the money.
Or just leave it alone. Or just leave it alone, because the thing is,
I want to see a motherfucker go, well, it's really not, because they all go, well, it's not about the money. Anytime you see a motherfucker in a civil case, they go, it's not about the money, right? But they be suing a motherfucker for $50, $100 million. So sue a motherfucker for $1 if it ain't about the money. Prove it ain't about the money. Go win $1.
Right.
Because you just want to prove a nigga guilty, right?
Or
that's
just
it.
Move on.
I mean, they ain't gonna move on because they want to show the world that, oh yeah, this motherfucker had something to do with it. We couldn't get him in the criminal court, so in a civil case, it's still gonna make the world go, oh yeah, he guilty because he lost the civil case.
Guilty.
You guilty. That they up in the criminal case, but the judge got it right in the civil case, so you guilty. So it don't matter anymore. It don't matter that they proved you innocent in the criminal court. They don't give civil court say you guilty. Not only are you finna be labeled, and you finna have to give up all your money.
Yeah, for sure. They took all the OJ's cheese from him.
Well, at the beginning, he already labeled whether he won or lost. But this the thing. Would you give him all your money, or would you go sit down and do 50 to life? Let him have the money.
Yeah, because that shit, I would have been like, shit, ain't no money.
Just walked away with his pants tightened up and said, fuck it, and got on.
Well, the thing is,
go sit down somewhere and chill.
Like, you ain't sitting in the pen for 50 years.
Well, Johnny Cochran fought a hell of a case, though, because the DNA evidence was all pointing towards OJ doing it. They said the odds that it was anyone else besides OJ was 1 in 170 million. He still got away. And they found out, see, one of the things was Mark Furman was prejudiced as hell. They found that tape where he was calling people nigger 41 times. He had 41 uses of the N-word. And so that threw that he was possibly racist and could have probably set some up. But OJ,
I mean, the race card was played like mother, but just because a mother racist, just because I called a mother cracker, do that mean I'm gonna set this mother up for murder? Yeah, because that nigga did it, and he felt that way. He felt like he did it, but to put shit on him and then place a glove somewhere else, come on, man, that's a lot of work to do. That's a lot of work. I'm not saying I'm glad he got off with it, because I mean, yeah, but I mean, you got to look at Rodney King and all the other black guys, black men that have been prosecuted for nothing, and it wasn't them, man, we was lucky to get off with OJ. You know what I'm saying? So I'm cool with
That
that.
shit.
But just the other shit, man, it wasn't cool.
Yeah, that was our one right there out of probably about 100,000. You know, James, I think OJ was guilty as all outdoors, man. I don't know. I don't think he was by himself because I don't give a fuck how strong you is, man. It's kind of hard for a dude to come with a knife and just stab two people the way he did. Wouldn't you agree?
Is it?
Well, you know what? It's not impossible, but think about
No.
it. He didn't have no marks on him or nothing. It would have been some kind of fight.
Well, if you got the element of surprise, you can stab the first one, they hit the ground, and then you can do all your due diligence on the other one. But cut them up head off and all that other. I mean, man, you had to be a
Yeah, they
swift
said he
motherfucker
was
with a
kind of
knife.
vicious with it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but you know
you
what,
gotta
though?
be a ninja.
Yeah, that motherfucker was a samurai, James. That
You
nigga,
gotta be.
that nigga,
I mean, just think about it. Yeah,
that nigga was the last samurai, nigga. He came from the
man,
top
you
of the
gotta.
roof. He had the all black on too, nigga, ninja style, nigga. He came.
Yeah, because he
Right.
tore some shit
And then
up.
you know what?
Hey,
Another
hey,
thing with
Tim.
that,
That nigga, you see
why
how
did
they
he
had him in the
run?
commercials, nigga, hitting the fences, nigga. That nigga hit that fence, nigga, ninja style, nigga. He,
Down there
What
chopping
you,
him up and then bounce. But I mean, the high speed chase, Norm. You know, if you ain't guilty, you know you ain't guilty. Why run? You're an old ass man. Why
yeah,
would you run? I just turned
that's
myself
another
in and said, fuck it.
that's another thing too, man. All bullshit aside, like if you ain't did it, what the f you running for, nigga? F that
Right.
I'm walking right in, nigga. I ain't did it. Let's go.
yeah, for real.
Right.
I ain't
Well,
did a motherfucking thing, nigga. Y'all ain't got a goddamn thing on me, nigga. I wasn't there, so let's go.
well, there were a whole bunch of mitigating circumstances too. She had a drug problem. She owed a whole bunch of drug dealers money. The one guy, and you know what? When I looked at it, I was kind of like, I don't blame OJ because they said that the guy, what was the guy's name? Ron Goldman, the dude she was.
Yeah.
They said he
Yeah.
had all her credit cards in his wallet, like all her credit cards and shit. So he over there spending OJ's cheese. He fucking with his bras, spending his money. OJ said, I ain't having that. He went and whacked both of their asses.
OJ, like I ain't playing with nobody.
Just
He
think about it
definitely
though, bro.
didn't do
She
it
was
by
fucking.
himself.
You know, she was that. Well, that's what I'm saying, James. I don't think he did it by himself. I think and you know, it ain't my job to solve the case, man. But I think his man, he was in the car with AC Collins. I think him and AC might have did that. And that's what they were talking about. Okay, man, you know what? You gonna have to go fight this, but don't put my name in it. That's probably what they was talking about when they was in the Bronco on that chase. Because it didn't look like they was really running. When you look at it, the Bronco wasn't going super duper fast. It was kind of just like in cruise control. They was in there chopping it up.